different. This is not a Bitcoin yield product like FTX. Your Bitcoin at River is always held 1-to-1, and we're never doing any funny business with it. This product is meant to solve a problem with your savings account. So the problem that a lot of our clients have and a lot of Bitcoiners have is that while they predominantly save in Bitcoin, most people, even big Bitcoin believers, have cash savings, especially if you have a family, you have rent. You need to make sure that you have a predictable cash buffer to cover your expenses for the months ahead. And the issue is, even if you have that cash in a high yield savings account, you're still losing to inflation. Food prices are going up. Tuition's going up, housing prices and rent is going up, and your savings account isn't keeping up with that. And so we asked the question, how could we solve this problem for our clients? The solution was Bitcoin interest on cash. And that's what we've launched, is the ability to now all cash on River will earn a high yield interest rate, 3.8%, but paid out in Bitcoin. And the reason this is important is that if you look at the historical performance of Bitcoin, if you had been earning this, your interest paid out in Bitcoin over the last few years, your effective interest rate would have been in the teens, which would have strongly outpaced inflation. So we're giving our clients the predictability that they need with cash savings, but the upside in Bitcoin. And so you're getting the best of both worlds.
Brah, my guy, the Bitcoin CAGR, compound annual growth rate, is 50%, arguably higher. Just buy Bitcoin. I have a friend who told me maybe a month ago, he prefers, we were talking about Bitcoin. He's like, well, you know, I'd like to keep my money in a high yield savings account. I'm like, oh yeah. Well, what's the rate? He's like, it's like 1.9%. It's high yield. I'm like, oh my God, this is where we're at. That 1.9% high yield savings account. Let's not even mention what it costs to operate this stupid account and the dings. God forbid you got to move money out of it or something. Oh, it's $1.50, 10,000. So what is it? 3.8% on that is obviously like a sponsored video that Natalie Brunell was putting out. I don't know. It just sounded like one. I actually edited out all his breaks because he might be one of the worst spokesmen maybe that I've seen in a long time. But I think it was because he didn't fully believe in it. Like if you go watch that original video, I think it's probably on Natalie Brunell's X account, you'll see how like the breaks in between his talking, you could see how he's like not too sure about how great it is. So I had to cut it out, you know, like you sit there and cut out all the breaks because he's just like Natalie Brunell. Terry Crow. I think her name's Natalie Brunell. Anyway, how heartbreaking is that buddy of mine is like 1.9%. It's a high yield savings account. I prefer that. It's a sad state of affair we're in where people actually would put their money and like, so let's just call it $10,000, right? So $10,000 from that River account. What is that? $389 a year in Bitcoin. That's great. Who doesn't want $389 in Bitcoin? So think about the rest. Yeah, I like how he says at the beginning, it's no funny business like FTX or Celsius. You know, just that he's got the tell is there, right? Like you would think you wouldn't even mention something like that. Anyway, so $389 in Bitcoin, that's great. Nothing to poo-poo about, but come on, my guy. The CAGR on Bitcoin, just buy Bitcoin. I'm not sure. So I guess his argument is that people need to have some dry powder. And if you have dry powder, I suppose keeping it in a bank account with a high yielding interest rate. So I don't know if I'm just so skeptical now, but I'm such a massive hole poker, so to speak. Don't get me wrong there, Terry Crow. But it's like 3.89%. He said strongly outpacing inflation. My guy, where have you been? Strongly. So if you were just to say, based on historical inflation rates of 2%, it's outperforming it. But to say it's strongly outperforming inflation. In fact, he went so far as to say if you compounded the compoundation year over year of your 3.8 per 9%, it'd be, wait for it, well in the teens. Come on, my guy, well in the teens. I was surprised Natalie Brunell put that out because she's been around enough. And listen, I don't know. Maybe it's the coffee talking. Maybe I'm as I haven't done the numbers myself. Lord knows me no num-nums, as well as those Federal Reserve PhDs, the 200 of them. You know, we know how well they do their crunching numbers. But let's just say he said it outpaces inflation, right? At the teens. Let's go high teens. Let's go 18%. Mind you, it's year over year compounding, right? He did say that, year over year compounding. He's still arguably not really outpacing inflation because we all know the government's basket of lies, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, is just all fudge numbers. Food's going up. Get it out. Gas and food and energy, get it out. Put in some Rubik's Cubes. They're going down. Put in a Betamax. Put in beta tapes. Betamax and beta. Throw in VHSs too. Throw that all into the CPI. Numbers going down. Perfect. Steak and dairy's going up. Get it out. Get it out. More Rubik's Cubes. We can get this number down. Who wants this number down? No one puts up their hand. Who wants to keep their job? Everyone puts up their hand. So, of course, WIC. Beta was the superior technology. WIC, do you know who ended the VHS and beta debate once and for all? I will allow everyone time to answer this question. And if you're not old enough to understand what happened, there was in the 80s, there was a technology race between VHS tapes and beta tapes, and VHS players and beta players, so to speak. So you either had VHS or beta, and if you had beta, well, you were relegated to this small section of your video rental store, right? It's like the whole thing was VHS, but if you did have beta, you had to go to this little thing, and it was almost like the Prime. If you have Prime, their movies, it's like, man, I guess I'll take this Hallmark thing, I guess. I'm still waiting for WIC's answer to who solved or who ended the VHS. Troyan, you got it right, and I appreciate your sneaky way of putting that. It was the corn industry. They ended it. They said, hey, we're going with VHS. And that was it. That's why I kind of think still we won't really hit full adoption until the corn industry somehow wraps its head around Bitcoin. I don't know how they'll do it. I'm not sure the angle they'll take. But yes, Troy N., you won the prize. You got a free spin on the free spin machine right by the lobby, by the Haagen-Dazs. Put in your sustain paddle, Fiona Matty B. There it is. More lush. Well, here we are. We talked about this yesterday, 66.3 being the 38.2% fib. Here we are. These fibs. What does Shakira say? These fibs don't lie. These fibs don't lie. 38.2% fib, 62.3. Here we are. We're battling it. What are we, 66.4? Will we get this bounce? I'm hoping. That would be a healthy bounce. 38.2%, that's a healthy bounce. Did Sneaky Pete get it first? I didn't see it. He snuck in, he must have snuck it in real fast. If I had the technology to go back, let me see if I can get it back up here and check it out here. I have two things of comments coming in here. Neither I can see. Theo, Sneaky Pete, elbow bump. That's what it comes up in here as an elbow bump. I don't know what that means. Scotty Mo, Kabuki Theater. Oh, yes, you did. Yes, Sneaky Pete. He did say he didn't put in corn. He put in The actual, it's P. It's you put the P instead of the C to get the real answer to that. Of course, these fibs don't lie. That's my Shakira. I can't really do a Shakira. I don't really know her song. Anyhow, yes, my dad, I'll take that one step further. There was the VHSers, there was the betas, then there was the laser discers. Now, you want to talk about a culty group of so-and-sos. It's the laser disc. So you have, so if this is the amount of things to rent in a Blockbuster, this much was VHS, this much was beta, and this much was laser discs. It was like one wall of laser discs. Anyhow, if we get this bounce, I would expect us to kind of retest resistance, which is our old support at what is that, 67.3. So 1,000. A Black Hat team had a laser disc. Yeah, well, those people, they don't give up the laser disc. They're like, this is the technology. This is the hill. This is the technological hill. We're going to die on laser discs. That was a healthy whistle, Sneaky Pete. And if we don't, I would expect maybe a dip down to 65.4. And I sometimes when I'm doing these fibs, I imagine people saying, Piano Matty B, what are you just doing? You're just doing fibs? Yeah, I'm just doing fibs. When you've watched the charts ad nauseum for years, you pick up certain traits. Now, they don't always work, but I would argue 80 to 90% of the time, they just bounce from fib to fib. You know, and then when I get weird about it, when I start thinking it through, the psychology of traders, I believe that it's when you're in a trade and it's sideways on you and it's going down, there's a pain threshold. That pain threshold can be represented in fibs. You know, it's the point where, so for instance, let's just say someone bought in, they FOMO'd in at this top, 69K, and it immediately went down because we know as soon as we buy, it goes down. That's just how the market works. And it went down, and at 23.6%, this is a low pain threshold for people, but it is one. It's the panic. It's like at 23.6. They don't know it's 23.6. They just feel the pain. They're like, I'm out. I'll take that loss. Those who stay in have a higher pain threshold, 38.2%. That's like, oh, I'm out too. And then we go down to 50. This is a real no man's land. There's not a lot of people that have that pain threshold. It really jumps from 38.2 to 61.8. Now, I always harp about the 61.8%, but this is the pain threshold where people are like, that's it. Hope I didn't blow anyone's ears out there. That's when they capitulate out. But just like it's sold as soon as you bought, as soon as you sell at the 61.8, it generally goes back up too. Now, long story short, the moral of this story is that if you just hodl, none of this matters. These are just ups and downs, higher highs, lower highs in a trajectory that's just going up. That's why I care not for bulls nor bears. Yeah, we've come off 69K. It's not the greatest thing. We look over on the ding dong here. We are edging closer. I mean, so right here is 66.2. I wouldn't really want to close this candle any less than that because that would be a real indicator of bearish strength picking up. Of course, if we were to hit the 38.2% fib on the daily, these fibs don't lie, 65.6, close that candle there, that would be ultra bearish. But you have to also remember that these fibs are where we bounce. Now, what I don't like about the daily, what I don't like about the ding dong here is that the 61.8% fib is right at the 200. moving average, which of course we know, and I've said it ad nauseum, underneath the 200 is not a healthy bull market make. So I don't really want to do that. I feel like the days of the 200 moving average are behind us. And those fibs also work for pleasure zones. Speaking of, anyway, you get in at 69K, and your first pleasure zone is the 23.6% fib. This is where people who are just like, oh my God, I'm up. Oh my God, I'm up. And they sell, right? That's why we have those resistance that are there. 38.2% is also where people start like this. Oh my God, I can't believe I made this much on my first trade. I'm out. And then, of course, 61 is where maybe the more seasoned profit taker was like, this is my goal. This was my goal because I've done this before, and that becomes a 61.8% fib. This is why we generally bounce from them. Now that's the short take on Fibonacci's. It goes much wilder than that because it's human behavior. I find it in everything that I do. And sometimes like I ask myself, so for instance, when I'm making a song, so for instance, I've been demoing Feels Like the Bottom. And when I'm listening to it, I'm wondering when I ask a question in my mind, is this too long? Is the bass drowning out my vocals? When I ask these questions, I bet you that they're at fibs. They're at time fibs. You know, if the song is 3 minutes long, there's fibs in there. You know, where's the 23.6, 38.2, 61.8? At all those intervals, I bet I ask certain questions based on my patience for the song. Just a hunch. That's how weird it gets with these fibs in me. I trace everything in fibs. You know, even like when the ups and downs of life. You know, like when people say bad things come in threes. Well, I was thinking about that the other day, and I feel like it is the momentum of negative feelings. So like when something bad happens, you change your kind of resonant frequency from positivity to almost like a fear-based frequency. And then what happens is that it also attracts fear-based scenarios. So now you're kind of in like an attractive fear-based tractor beam, and that's where we get the threes. And then usually at the 3, that's when, if we go back to the Fibonacci's, that's probably like 38.2% pain of your negativity. And that's where the psychology, human psychology kicks back in. It's like, I got to change this, right? This is ridiculous. You know, I've had enough, so to speak. And then you switch into maybe positive thinking, and then the threes go back up. It's getting wild. These are wild fib talks. Black Hat, who remembers HD DVD? I do remember HD DVD. Was that, did that come with more options? I remember actually authoring DVDs. If you can remember that, there was a program called DVD something. I can't remember. You could actually make your own DVDs. I thought that was, maybe I'll get a job just authoring DVDs. No, didn't happen. And so vice versa with the positivity, things happen, you know, when my brother-in-law calls it the vortex. When you're in the vortex, good things happen to you. And that is just the coming in threes of positive frequencies. You know, it's hard. It's hard for these negative fear-based frequencies to come into your life when you're absolutely autonomically, unconsciously thinking about positive things. You know, I'm sure it happens. I mean, everything has to top, right? Even the good times, even the good health, everything tops. Athletically, you know, when I'm playing well squash-wise, I usually know that what's coming is a reversal. And when that reversal comes, usually I will play poorly for a while. And just like the negative fear-based energy, when I have a bad game, I slip back into that the darker fear frequency, right? And then I attract worse games until I said, this is crazy. Why am I playing so poorly? I got to do something else. And then I switch back into the positive frequency, and then things change. Higher highs, higher lows, right? That's really what all exercise is. You are tearing muscles apart, bringing them down. And this goes back to my 10-minute workout. The reason why I always praise the 10-minute workout is because I believe it's a Fibonacci. So when you are, long story short, I know a lot of guys who exercise for a long time. They go up to the gym for an hour. I always say they're wasting their time. What are you up here for an hour for? What are you doing? Most of them are on the phone, right? But why I believe that's too much is that you are basically returning your gains. So if you think about your muscle being ripped, right? You want it to rip to what I call the 38.2. That's why I say my favorite fib is the 38.2% fib, because I believe that's where you have the most upside once you bounce, is 38.2. And so why I only exercise for 10 minutes is because that, in my mind, is the 38.2% fib of muscle destruction. That's where I'm going to get the most bang for my buck after exercising, because I believe, and maybe this is my positive high frequency, Alex O'Crypto, welcome, is that, see, I took my mind off it for a second and I forgot what I was going to say. The 38.2% fib exercise, that's why I get the most. Oh, yeah, right. So when you hit the 38.2% fib in your muscle destruction, it signals your brain. It's like, hey, we got some damage down there. Do you need reinforcements? Yes, the muscle says. It says, all right, here you go. And it sends, it doesn't have changing reinforcements. It just has like one set of reinforcements and it sends it. And so if you go past 38.2% down, like say to the 61.8% fib, as far as muscle destruction, well, you only get repairs for the 38.2. So there's a net loss in your amount of destruction you did that can't be recuperated, so to speak. Matty B, I thought this was a TA channel. What is it with this frequency BS and the fibs, the fibs and muscle destruction? Where are we going here on a Wednesday? Well, this is what happens when the price really doesn't move. You know, what are we going to talk about? This little 1% dip here? Well, we already did talk about it. Of course, this cute little bear flag play out does. Look at that. Look at that right at the 2 hundo, which is also the 61.8% fib. Ideally, we would like the 10-minute workout to hit 38.2% fib and bounce. That's what we're looking for. Then we can negate this bear flag into the market memory hole. And we can click and delete this. I just heard some secret reverb. Now, on the weekly, where is the 61.8% fib? 60K. You can see we've closed some candles here. Way over here, this was our support. Oh, you can't see that. I've had this fancy green and red smoke. I'm trying not to mess with it. There we go, yeah. So we see we've had some candle closes at this, where am I? Right here, yeah, these bottoms. It was support. We had decent support. We wicked under during the summer bummer, and that's where we had same support. But ideally, if we were to see more bearish action hitting this, what is this, 65.3? We have Carobs on the ding dong at 65.3. It's basically between the 38 and the 50 on the 4 hours. 65.3 is the 50% fib. So there's minor Carobs on there. Now, all this could change with a couple of good. I feel like we're in a little bit of FUDness with the European Central Bank, and then that psycho central banker from the States. Oh, and what is that? What is that? Sweet reverb. You guys can't hear how sweet this reverb is, but let me guarantee you, it is sweet. Oh, okay, buddy. What are you going to play? I got to go get some water today, so we got it. get you to school and get out to the country for some water. What are you going to do today, buddy? Yeah? What are we going to do?
No.
Okay, well, let's do Vienna. Let's do Vienna. You always sing that so nice.
Slow down. Slow. No, I can't sing it.
Too high? Well,
No, I can't sing it because of my...
Why are you an electric piano?
I can't sing it because of my cough. Slow. No.
Okay. All right, well.
Slow down, you crazy child. You're so ambitious for a juvenile. Well, tell me you're so small. Well, tell me why you're still so afraid. You're afraid. Too bad. It was a fire. What's a hurry about? You got to cool it off before you put it out. Well, there's so much to do in all. So many hours in a day. A day. You know that when the juice gets stalled, you get what you want, or you can just get old. You gotta kick off before you even get halfway through. Ooh. When will you realize yellow waits for you?
That's it? No second verse? What's the second verse?
Slow down! You're doing fine. You can't be everything you want before your time. Well, there's so much to do.
So romantic.
So romantic. Slow down. So romantic on the borderline tonight. Tonight. Too bad. This is the life you got. You're so ahead of yourself that you forgot what you need. You know when you're wrong, but you can't always tell when you're right. You're right. You got your passion, you got your pride. Don't you know that only fools are satisfied? Dream on, you only have enough for all two. Oh, when will you rewind? The yellow waits for you.
Couple things I like there. I like the end. You did that suspended little turnaround, suspended fourth. I've never seen you do
What
that
do you
before.
mean?
Yeah, that's a B flat suspended fourth. And I like the fact that even though your voice was a little bit hoarse from cough, you went for it, because as a singer, we got to go for it, don't we? If we don't go for those notes, they're always going to come off a little weird, aren't they?
Heavens, the Murgatroyd, Nick.
Feels like the bottom. Feels like something's about to change. Feels like the bottom, and I mean that in the most grooviest way. Feels like the walls are crashing down on me, like everything is falling apart. Nothing makes sense anymore. I just want to go back to the days when it felt like it would never end, would all just go on forever. I wake up and you're gone. Did I hold on too long? Tell me, where did I go wrong? It feels like the bottom. It feels like something's about to change. It feels like the bottom, and I mean this in the most grooviest way. Sometimes I wonder how long it'll be before I see you again. and this all just blows over. I'm just looking for someone to blame, just a simple reason why we find ourselves here again. I wake up and you're gone. Did I hold on too long? Tell me, where did I go wrong? It feels like the bottom. It feels like something's about to change. It feels like the bottom. And I mean this in the most grooviest way. Tell me that it's over. Tell me that it's gone. Tell me everything I thought was wrong. 'Cause everything I had now is gone. Feels like the bottom. Feels like something's about to change. It feels like the bottom. And I mean this in the most grooviest way. It feels like the bottom. It feels like something's about to change. Feels like the bottom. And I mean this in the most grooviest way.
In the depths of the crypto bear market, anything can and will happen.
I've never seen anything like it.
It's the craziest I think I've ever seen.
Academy Award winner Zach Galifianakis says BitBoy Crypto, Ben Armstrong.
The psyop they tried to create in my brain, and you hear the struggle of, I haven't done anything.
Golden Globe nominee Shia LaBeouf as TJ Shed.
We had a great dynamic and a lot of fun over the years. This hurts all of us.
We broke the entire internet.
This has always been my company.
Also starring Benicio del Toro.
Remember me?
As Nicky Diamonds DeMonte. Nicolas Cage as Deezy. And Paul Giamatti as TJ's dad. Also some black guy that we've never really heard of.
Give me everything you got! Pound, 10p, 5p, and even the brown pen exact to me!
Based on the best-selling novel by John Grisham. Cold-blooded crypto.
You know, there's too many lines that have been crossed. You and I we have to go our separate ways.
Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video with someone